Hi everyone and welcome to CAFTA Co. I hope that everybody is staying safe during this time and that you all are taking care of yourselves, not only physically but spiritually and mentally as well. My name is Krystn and I'm one of the founders of CAFTA. So today's video is basically just about getting to know me, my craft and my background in it, and why I became involved in CAFTA. So if this is your first time coming across our channel, don't forget to like this video, subscribe. We'd really love for you guys to join our community. So without wasting any more time, let's get into this video. I'm originally from Krystn, and for those who don't know, it's a town in the northern suburbs here in Cape Town. But for the last year and a couple of months, I've been living in Rondebosch, studying over there. I am a second year student at UCT. I'm studying applied dance or pedagogy, which is basically dance teaching. Unlike a lot of dancers, I didn't have any formal training until I got to high school only. The only kind of exposure that I had when I was younger was basically like a lot of people through mainstream media. So my sister and I, we would watch movies like Step Up, Honey, and then we'd learn those choreographies. Because I don't know about you guys, but I think that's kind of the only natural response to have after watching a dance movie, is to want to learn the dances. So we did that, and then we discovered like viral choreographers on YouTube, and we started following their tutorials. People like Trisha Miranda and Matt Stefanina. We were checking out their stuff, and that's kind of what we did in our free time. We just did it for fun. It never really occurred to me that this could be a possible career choice, or maybe just because I was too young at that point. But then in grade 6, towards the end of the year, I had a very painful experience, and everything around me changed basically. My friends and my classmates and my teachers were treating me differently, and I didn't feel like myself anymore. I constantly felt like I was having this out-of-body experience where I was just watching myself going about life and making choices and doing things. So dance was basically the last thing on my mind at that point. And then I got to high school, and I went to Brackenfell High School, and over there it's compulsory to take 2 performing arts subjects in grade 8 and 9. So I got back into dance again. I was taking dance and music, and that's kind of where my formal training, I guess, started, with doing contemporary dance. And the next year in grade 9 was the first time that I performed on stage. We have this thing at Brackenfell called the choreography evening, where the matrics of that year showcase whatever they were working on, and then all the other grades perform as well. So as grade 9s, we were doing this jazz funk piece, and we were wearing these neon colored tops, but I thought it was so cool. It was one of the most exciting and exhilarating things to perform on stage. For all the dancers and performers out there, you guys know what I'm talking about. All the lights and even the rehearsals beforehand, it was so cool. And then afterwards, that year, I decided that I was going to pursue dance as a career, and I was going to become a dance teacher. And that was a lot in part due to my dance teachers at that time, Miss Sharice Manjigali and Miss Bernice Gordon. They were big influences in the way that, in the decision that I made. And from that year onwards, I kind of started to feel more like myself again, more more at home in my own skin, since the experience that I had in primary school. And that was a lot due to getting back into dance again. And it was just amazing that for me, the decision that I made to become a dance teacher, it was so cool for me that I potentially could impact people's lives in this way, in the way that in the way that I had been impacted from that stage. And that was one of the one of the main reasons. And so the next year when we chose our subjects, I chose dance studies and music and a couple of other subjects. And once my teachers got wind of the fact that I was planning on pursuing dance as a career, like it was hectic. They were asking me like, what are you doing? Are you sure this is what you want to do? You know, for them, dance wasn't a career that made money, so it didn't make sense for them that I would be wanting to do this. I think also because at that point I was doing well in dance and music, and I was doing well academically too, so they were just very confused as to why I didn't choose to become an accountant or a scientist or like a doctor or whatever. So I was surrounded basically by adversity from all sides, from some family, from people at school, but like amidst that doubt, I started to get into dance a lot more, and from that year onwards, I started doing dancing in school shows and choreographing for those shows, and just a lot of experiences that I had that kind of solidified my decision and made it more apparent to me that this was what I wanted to do and this is what I basically had to do. So that year as well, a couple of us performed at the Artscape in this production. It was hosted by a dance company in Cape Town, and that was just another experience that I had on stage that on a much bigger stage gave me a lot of experience and just kind of slowly but surely pushed me in the direction that I wanted to go. And then the next year I joined that company, and I carried on with doing school shows and choreographing for them. So in matric I had the goal of becoming first in the Western Cape for dance studies, and I was blessed enough to achieve that goal. And I remember at the award ceremony that we had for our district matric awards, after we got our awards, this one guy came up to me and he was like, okay, so what actually can you do with dance? You know, is there something? And then he also told me, he was like, oh, but you must have great parents to let you study dance, you know. And so I started to see that there was so little awareness surrounding dance and what it is, what it could be, what the performance industry is about, the entertainment industry, the actual money that you can make. There were a lot of misconceptions around it. People aren't aware of how much the industry has changed in the last 20 to 30 years. And so from that point it became less about me finding myself, which I had been starting to achieve more and more about creating awareness around dance and bringing it to people's attention and highlighting it as something important to society. While I had experienced dance as something cathartic and therapeutic and educational, now I'm a strong believer that dance is very much and can be, and sometimes and a lot of the time is, political, and that was kind of the premise upon which CAFTA was founded. So in 2017, that was the year CAFTA was created. There was a little bit of a bad experience that we had. You know, I don't know if I can mention it on camera, but you know, people's safety was affected, and so we were just so much more aware about how much unawareness there was around dance. A lot of dance scholars, they have stated that dance is seen as a lesser subject at school, and this is something that we knew, but you know, experiencing it firsthand was something different. So we decided that we work really hard. We aren't just a subject that you take to get free marks, you know, to push up your average. What we do is hard work. It takes dedication, it takes perseverance, it takes so much discipline, so much of a mental capacity to understand it, to do theory and practical. So we want to kind of highlight all those aspects that categorize dance as not a lesser subject. And so we decided to found CAFTA. We came up with the idea, and we all just jumped on board immediately. If you don't know, CAFTA stands for Create Awareness for the Arts, and that was mainly our goal at that time. Because we also wanted people to recognize our hard work, but also I personally and the rest of us, we've experienced the benefits that dance had on our lives. How much growth we had experienced just from a couple of years taking dance as a subject. How much it helped us to gain maturity and gain a better understanding of the world. Develop skills that we need outside of school, that people aren't really aware of. Things like skills like having to create connections between concepts that traditional schooling doesn't really offer you, because the curriculum is so fragmented. So there are certain skills that we had seen that we picked up, and now that I'm studying, I see that how beneficial these skills are, and in the everyday life and in the working environment. And it was so important for us to highlight dance as an important part of the education of a student, and to society in general. So we all left high school, and then about a month or two ago, I don't think it was 2 months already, but about a month ago, WeAm contacted us to get CAFTA started again. And I was immediately excited because since starting to study dance at UCT, I've become more and more kind of encouraged to highlight dance as a very important educational tool, and I saw the opportunity to do that. The arts has definitely influenced my life and the way that I see the world, and I believe that it can have a huge impact on everyone else's lives. Those who decide to participate in it, and those who decide to just watch or spectate. There is no way that you cannot be affected by a piece of art. So if you have made it this far, thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead and like this video, comment your thoughts down below, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to get updates for when we upload new videos. Follow us on Insta, check us out on Facebook. Thank you guys once again, and stay safe.